Hi, I'm here in the blacksmith shop where things out of metal are made. Now, if you have any questions, make sure to get them ready now so Eric can answer them at the end of the segment. Hi, Eric. Can you tell me what a blacksmith does?
I'd be happy to. A blacksmith makes things out of metal. So here at Mount Vernon, I make all kinds of tools for our various craftspeople and artisans here.
How many other types of artisans are there here at Mount Vernon?
Oh, there's all kinds. We have farmers and carpenters and coopers. In fact, I have a couple tools that these folks use right here. So we got a rake for the farmers, and this is a scoop for the coopers, barrel makers. Today, in fact, I'm making an axe that's going to be used by our farmers.
Can you show me how to make an axe?
Oh, I'd be happy to. I've got some pieces of it right here. I've been making a couple. And so I've got a bar that I start with, and then I hammer this bar into a shape like this. And that's where I'm at with the axe I have in the fire right now. This is going to get folded over and then fused back together, and that's how you form the head of the axe. And so I'll get back to working on this right now.
About how hot does the fire get?
Oh, the fire gets up over 3,000 degrees Fahrenheit here, and that's caused by my blowing air into the fire. So I'm using that bellows over there, and that bellows, when it blows air, makes the fire hot, 3,000 degrees like I had said.
How long would someone train to become a blacksmith?
This trade is still passed down through apprenticeship, the way it has been for a long time. And so an apprenticeship is usually 3 to 5 years. After an apprenticeship, you work as a journeyman. And a journeyman literally journeys around and works in different shops, learning different skills and different techniques. So it takes a long time to learn, years and years.
Where does the metal and the iron come from?
Well, that's a great question. The iron comes from a place about 9 miles south of here. Down there's going to be an iron furnace where they make the iron. And so they mine the iron ore, melt it, smelt it out, and then they form it into bars. And so by the time it comes here, the bars are going to look like this, a little longer. And then that's what I would shape the different tools out of.
About how many tools would a blacksmith make per day?
Oh, that really depends. It depends on what kind of tool you were making. Some tools take longer than others. An axe like this will probably take 2 to 3 hours, and so I might be able to make a couple of them in a day. A rake like this takes a little bit longer.
How many people would typically be working in a blacksmith shop?
Here at Mount Vernon, we usually have 2 people working in here. We have a lot of work to do, so. Now this is going to take a little while to heat up, but as you can see, that fire's getting hotter and hotter. Now when I pull this out of the fire and I hammer it together this time, it's going to send out some pretty exciting sparks. And I'm never sure just how far they're going to go. Before I pull this out of the fire, though, I'll ask you to back up. So we're still a little ways away, just to warn you.
What is that you're using right now?
Oh, this is a little poker. I'm burning coal in the fire. And coal has impurities in it that melt to the bottom of the fire that they don't burn. And that clogs up the fire sometimes. So I have to poke it a little bit, make sure it's getting enough oxygen.
Where was the coal imported from?
The coal is coming from some of the same places coal comes from today. So Western Virginia, Pennsylvania, Western Maryland. The coal is mostly coming from surface deposits. So I think we're beginning to get close to the exciting part. Okay. So I'm going to ask you to back up now. I think we're still a few seconds away. Okay, about to do this. This is going to send out some sparks. All right. So that's all the sparks. You're welcome to step back up if you'd like. Still going to hammer on this for just a little while longer.
There's some sort of flakes coming off of that. What is that?
Those flakes coming off of there are iron oxide. I'm blowing oxygen into the fire from the bellows, and not all that oxygen is consumed by the fire. And so the leftover pieces, or the leftover oxygen, kind of sticks to the metal, and then it kind of pops off and forms this kind of iron oxide scale. And so it's kind of brittle, the waste product. Now I'm going to have to heat this up and do this a couple more times to get the finished axe. But I have one that I'd made earlier over here, and it's a very similar axe. And so this one's still really hot and has to be hammered out a little bit more. And so if you'd like to take a look at this one, that's one I had made a little bit earlier.
This is really interesting. Thank you, Eric, for showing me how to make an axe.
My pleasure.
Eric is going to go head off and answer some of your questions now. Back to you, Edon.